Hello and welcome everyone to the Wednesday, May 8th edition of the SIG Contributor Experience meeting. As a reminder, we do operate under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. To start things off, I believe we started last time trying a similar format to what we use in the sub-project meeting, which is to offer an opportunity here at the beginning of the meeting for everyone on the call to introduce themselves. Totally optional. You don't have to if you don't want to. We don't call on folks so that it is totally optional. And I'll kick things off. I'm Caslin Fields, and I am a co-chair of the Special Interest Group for Contributor Experience, which is the group that is meeting today. And our focus is on um, all things related to the experience contributors have contributing to the Kubernetes project. And anyone else would like to go?
Hey, my name's Sylvester Carroll. I'm hoping you can hear me. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, good. I'm a
Yes.
newbie, so this is my second call on this group anyway. So yeah, I've been in IT, actually working in IT for a long, long time. Investment banking mainly, building systems for them. So yeah, I'm looking to kind of get more involved in Kubernetes. I find it very interesting. And yeah, so that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Welcome. Excited to have you.
I can continue. Hi, I'm Mario. I am the current lead for the Contributor Summit North America 2024 and also part of SIG Infra and ContribEx Comms.
Hello, I am Chris Short. I am a developer advocate at AWS on the open source team here. I am a co-lead of Kubernetes contributor comms, and I have been part of the SIG for a long time. He, him are my pronouns.
Oh, keep forgetting to do that. She, her.
Hello, hello.
One of
My
us
name
will
is
remember
Arvind.
eventually.
I'm a developer from India, and I'm a member of the Kubernetes comms team, looking to help out in various areas anywhere that I can. And my pronouns are he/him. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Excited to have you. If anyone else would like to go, you are welcome now. Alrighty. There is one intro in the chat. Shall I read it aloud for you? Okay. Intro in the chat for Laura Santamaria. Reviewer for the website repo and often helping with the Contributor Summit. She's been a bit swamped lately with some things, so hasn't been here in a bit, but we are excited to have you back. Wonderful. So we will dive into things then. But before we do, another kind of housekeeping item to take care of. Would anyone be willing to volunteer to be our note taker today?
I can do it partly as much as possible.
That's kind of how it goes, right? It's best effort. We all kind of help. Appreciate it then. All right. Well, then let's dive into things. So the format of this meeting is that we have an agenda that is basically going through the different sub-projects of the special interest group. And the first one is events. So let's talk about Contributor Summit, and I'll take notes for you, Mario.
Yeah, so we have started the planning for North America 2024 on Monday. We covered most of the lead positions. We are still missing a lead for the social event. Currently, Day of Ops shadow-wise is looking a little bit grim because I also get the feeling that a lot of folks are not joining Salt Lake City. However, I hope that we still can get folks, and we want to send out a mail to dev@kubernetes.io mailing list to ask for shadows and for a potential social lead. But
We
in
should-
general, we started. That's the good thing. We started organizing.
Progress is progress. Yeah. Any questions or anything about the contributor summit planning for KubeCon North America in Salt Lake City in November? Alrighty. Yeah, so we'll look into the comms on the social event lead and maybe trying to get some more day of ops shadows. All right.
And Laura,
There
I
no-
just saw that you commented on the issue. There are a certain amount of positions that are not required for you to be in person at the event. So there are shadow roles that, for example, registration, comms, content, any of those is basically you're not required to be on site.
I'll gladly help. I volunteer to help with anything that's on.
Maybe we can just put in the issue link. Let me figure it out where it is.
Yeah, so there's an issue in GitHub where we collect folks volunteering as comments. So there are 3 different types of roles, basically. Types of roles, not roles, within the Contributor Summit. There are leads who are, of course, leads of their specific areas of the Contributor Summit planning. Then there are shadows who are folks who help out the leads with all of the things that need to happen for that area and are expected to take over the lead position at some point in the future. And then there are volunteers who are just folks who are there to help with no expectation of them taking on the lead position at some later time. A lot of the positions for the Contributor Summit require that you be an org member and that you be attending KubeCon North America, so that you can be in person at the in-person event. But as Mario was saying, there are a few like registration and comms where volunteers can be remote. Generally, it's preferred or expected that the leads in that position at least be in person still, though.
Perhaps, I mean, I'll definitely volunteer for something. I'm not sure what's best, you know. I'll leave it up to you guys, whatever you think, where I can help.
It's up to you what you're interested in.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
interests matter.
There's also a there are links to handbooks where you can basically see what is required of each of the different roles and just read through them and then write which field you're interested in.
All right, yeah, I'll have a read through this. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions about the Contributor Summit before we move on?
And we have a logo
Alright.
since today. So the official logo from the Contributor Summit is out since today. We have a
What?
snowflake, Kubernetes flow snowflake. Yeah, the branding for the KCS was posted today by Janelle. Yes,
Nice.
the branding logo for KCS North America.
For KubeCon or for the
For the
Contributor
summit.
Summit?
For the summit.
Usually we have a
Yeah.
volunteer from the
interesting.
community create the logo
Yeah,
later.
the slide, you know that the slides are pre-created by the CNCF, and this one is created.
I see.
I will
Oh.
put the
It's the
link
logo.
to the-
It's not the logo, it's the branding.
Exactly. It's not the logo,
Branding.
it's the branding.
Yeah, like
Sorry.
the slide decor. Yeah.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I'd never thought about that, but okay.
I feel like we've done that before sometime. I think it was
I
pre-pandemic.
guess we must
though.
have. but
Yeah,
I've
we
never
had it for
thought
Paris.
about it.
We had it for Paris.
We the one, you know, the one with the There's Bean for Chicago. It's that version. And then there's the logo itself that we get to make. So it's that version. We've had it for a long time. Usually we get like 3 or 4 different versions and we get to choose from that.
This does not ring a bell, but I will have to go
Okay.
back and look at slides from the contributor summit in
Yeah,
Chicago.
It matches whatever they have for the main
Theme.
thing usually. The main theme.
Oh,
That
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
It's
That
that
makes
that
total
one. It's like
sense.
the shadow version. The shadows. Cityscape like
I
thing.
see.
You've
Today I
seen
learned.
it. I promise you've seen it.
Probably. Yeah, for like the registration page.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it there. Cool. Yeah, I've definitely seen that. It's like a long banner kind of thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions, comments about the contributor summit? Alrighty. Yeah, you might want to put the link there if you want to.
Done.
Perfect. All right, then we will move on to our next item, which is mentoring. Josh is not here today, so I'm guessing, is there anyone else here with any updates on mentoring? I have a couple. There are a couple of LFX mentorship, what's the right word for it? Projects that have been submitted by the Kubernetes project to the LFX mentorship program. I was kind of keeping an eye on them and commenting on them. One of them they ended up deciding not to do because they thought that there had been a lot of progress made on the project recently, and so there might not be enough there for a intern project. But another one did get accepted. So I know there's at least one LFX mentorship from the Kubernetes project. I think that's about it for what I know about what's going on in mentorship right now. We are working. Yeah. I had mentioned last time, I guess, that we are working on our annual report. The whole project, every special interest group is working on their annual reports right now. The way that this works currently is the steering committee of the Kubernetes project has sent out a couple of questions to every special interest group for them to answer about the work that they did in the last year. And so special interest groups are either working on filling those out or have completed filling those out. So as part of that and beyond that, we're going to be doing some work around sub-project organization, making sure that all of our sub-projects have leads, all of that kind of stuff. So there will be some work going on with the mentoring project there, and we definitely need to do some comms about help wanted for that project because it really needs some project management style help and leadership. Yeah, which will be reflected in the annual report as well. Any other questions about mentoring? Alrighty. The next area on the list is contributor comms. Anyone from the comms team here today?
Hold up a mirror. Hey, y'all. So Zapier, our automations to push out new posts from RSS feeds, that automation completely broke. We got no error whatsoever. Or I take that back. Nigel and I didn't get errors, but the contributors at Kate's.io email got the notification. So we worked with Artian Perot on Slack. He's at Zapier, taught us how to set up alerting for failed zaps so that we could totally make sure we get the error messages. But the issue was related to using tags that we have created in Buffer in the automation. I stuck my head into the if this then that Discord and gave them all the info, and they're very curious. So I'm sure they'll look into it and we'll try and add the tags back. The tags are there just to kind of group various posts into buckets so that we can analyze, hey, how do these different themes get used? But it is what it is. So there's a communication plan we need to collaborate on. I am horrifically busy at work, so like I feel like I need a meeting to do any work at this point. So yeah, we're trying to
You
get
should
some.
probably. We were going to work on that alongside SIG security, right? So we could maybe try
I
to
mean,
hop into that
yes
one.
and no, right? Like I feel like we
Yeah.
need some SIG infra help, and like we can propose
Yeah.
something, but it's gonna get hacked to shreds if we don't bring enough people in.
We could just hop on a meeting and hack
That's
on it
true.
for a draft and then see what help we need.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I like your idea. Let's do that. And also, thanks to Kaslan's hard work, Kubernetes IO, the Twitter, Zitter, X account, whatever you want to call it, we have access to that now. And we have already been requesting or had requests to send out some messages. So it's pretty amazing given that this little team started, what, 2 years ago? And we had
We
nothing
started in
as far
2020,
as
but
2020. Oh, so 4 years ago. Oh my God.
it
Anyways,
was a very different team then.
We don't count COVID years. Somebody said eventually.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyways, that is an amazing feat and accomplishment for our team because we never ever thought that we would have any kind of access to this account. So, and
It
yeah,
used to be
even
managed by
thinking
the
about that in the
CNCF.
beginning. Yeah,
Yeah.
even in the beginning, it was like hard to justify social. So we got there, and yeah, we're good. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
all from comms. But yeah,
yeah.
Kevin, please backstory.
There's some more some posts, there's some discussion in SIG ContribEx comms, the channel for the comms team, going on about some posts that we're planning to put onto the Twitter account and that we will also cross post. There's a lot of focus right now on this Twitter account, but we do also have LinkedIn and Mastodon, and we'll continue posting on those as usual too. The exciting thing about this new Twitter account is that it has over 300,000 followers already, and that's a mainly end user audience, whereas the contributor comms team has traditionally been focused more on a contributor internal to the project kind of audience. So this is exciting in that it expands our audience and gives us more ways to communicate with end users. So there may be different messages that go out, and there will also be a much higher bar for quality and the kinds of content that are going to go out on this account because of its huge followership and because it's end users. So
Everything needs to be verified and double checked.
Yes. It's a very scary account. We don't want to mess things up on it.
No.
And we do have a variety of kind of checks and balances in place to make sure that things are reviewed properly and that folks can't make a mistake that would be painful. So mainly we use it through Buffer, which is our tool for coordinating posts across all of our platforms, and it also has built-in reviewing tools as well. I have gotten at least one question so far already about how do we request comms be sent out on any channel, honestly, but specifically people are asking about this one, obviously. But we do have a GitHub issue template in K community. People don't really use it. Mainly we get our requests through SIG ContribEx comms on Slack. But there are a variety of ways to contact us, and we're a chill group. Feel free to reach out to any of us if you have any questions or want anything with that account or any other.
Yep. There's also a contributor comms alias that you can use in several channels, I think. At least 2 or 3.
And also we are planning to create a new blog post, co-create with SIG Cloud Provider, a new blog post about the big removal that just went in this week. So there's been a project in progress since 2017 to remove cloud provider code from upstream Kubernetes. So in the past, for context for folks who may not be aware of it, in the past, when you downloaded Kubernetes and installed it yourself, it would already have all of this code in it that would allow it to run in cloud provider environments, even if you weren't running in those environments. So it's a lot of excess code that a lot of folks don't need since you're generally not running in multiple environments. There's always going to be excess. So there's been a project underway to remove that code from Kubernetes itself and make it something optional that you would add on as like a controller that you could add to your cluster. So a lot of that is happening right now with over 1 million lines of code being removed from the project, which is very exciting. We love to see code being removed. So we have a plan-ish to work with the leads of SIG Cloud Provider to create a new blog post about what's going on there. There are quite a few resources on that, and we're planning to send out some social media about those resources, but also creating a new one. Any questions for comms?
That was a lot of updates.
We got a lot of stuff going on. We also have our
I know, right?
regular SIG spotlights. We continue to get new folks in our group that we try to get up to speed. So things are going well. It's nice. All right. If there are no particular questions for comms, then I'll move on to contributor documentation. I don't think anyone has updates there, but does anyone have any updates on contributor documentation, such as the contributor guide or the contributor site? Cool. And the contributor site is kates.dev, and that is a thing that exists for folks who are not aware. And there is a relatively new contributor guide. Is that the right word for it? Yeah, I think that's the right wording. That's on the kates.dev site. That if you're not aware of it, you might want to check out. Any questions about that, since we have no one here to answer them? Alrighty, we'll move on to the next item, which is moderation and media. We already talked a little bit about that with the Zapier bit. Well, not really. I guess that was kind of separate. But I see Chris and Mario, you at least have some updates on moderation and media in YouTube.
Yes. So we need more YouTube moderators, and the work is pretty light because a lot of it's getting automated, but sometimes there's wonkiness, or like a request I got last week. Hey, could you remove this personal information from a video that got auto uploaded? And yeah, totally feasible to do that. But me, Nigel, and Pratish are all busy people, and it would be very nice to have some better global coverage on top of just more people that can help. Right now it's 3. So the lift isn't that heavy, I don't feel like. I will grab the guidebook and drop it in chat and the docs.
Yeah, if you send me the details, I'll take a look. I do with YouTube.
Yeah.
Editing
and feel free to ping folks and talk about it. Very open community. That kind of thing for the most part, at least.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. So if you have an interest in YouTube and videos, or if you know anyone who's interested in Kubernetes and open source contribution and videos, let us know. We can try to get folks kind of up to speed.
Yep. So what, I just go in there and add my name to it or something? Is that...
No. Like to be a YouTube admin, you kind of need to be a trusted individual in the community and an org member. So if this is your first time interacting with Kubernetes, we need to get you some more experience first.
All right, fair enough.
That's all. Yeah. No, the org membership is a huge component of it. So yeah.
And you'll also need that for the contributor summit if you want to help out there. So
Yep, both.
Okay.
basically org membership, I think they changed the requirements, but it used to be, and this is kind of a general good rule, is like 2 public facing bits of contributor work that you can point to. That can be something like social media posts, that can be GitHub PRs, even for something small like a
Typo, whatever.
yeah, typo,
Yeah, no,
documentation
yeah,
correction, those kinds
Yeah.
of
All right.
things. And then you need 2 people from the community who will vouch for you and say, yes, you're doing work in the community. Because the idea of org membership is you're going to be around as a contributor for a while. And so you need some access, you need more
Got
privileges,
it.
and that's what the org membership does.
Okay.
And basically, membership for anything is done via the mailing lists. So please join them.
Yep. I've joined this
Oh, yeah.
one. That's, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, like
Good start.
the
Yeah.
the contributor guide is a good place to start, and sounds like you've been there.
Yay. And Mario also had a note in here about auto-publishing still being stuck.
Yeah, time.
Yeah.
I didn't had any time the last weeks because I was out on
What
first
exactly
week.
is the issue there that we're still stuck on?
It's basically I just need to run the test if it's if the auto signing to the playlist is really working. That's the
Oh, right, the
last
playlist
bit.
thing.
The publishing is working. The auto publishing is working. But the problem was that adding it to a playlist did not work because it was private, and we agreed that we just set every single uploaded video to public so that it can be assigned to the playlist, and that's basically I just need like 2 hours to test this and then it's done. But I hadn't had the chance in the last weeks because work.
Can
Work
someone
and
else
life.
test
Understandable.
it by chance?
Potentially. I mean, the only thing is it is using currently one of my private drives
Oh,
because I didn't want to use
Right,
the normal video uploads to not screw it over, and it's linked to my YouTube channel,
okay.
which is an empty YouTube channel.
Right. Yeah, no, that's probably the best test, to be honest with you, if you got it all wired in already. So
I just need to find some time, and next week we have a company offsite, and I'm a team of 1, so let's see that I can maybe work on this.
Understandable. Appreciate you working on it. Playlist thing is an
Likewise.
exciting feature.
Yeah, it'll really
That'll be good to have.
take a lot of tedious work out of our hands. So
Yeah.
it's worth the wait.
Definitely. All right. I guess I should maybe add one more note on Zoom. Yeah, I guess we haven't met since then. There are a couple of new working groups that have been spun up recently. Working group serving, which is focusing on AI workloads, and working group, I think device management was the other new one. Or is it something else? I don't remember exactly right now.
Yeah.
Device management is one. I think it's the other new one.
Mhm.
But they both requested Zoom accounts. So the Kubernetes project has several licenses. We have 32 licenses that we can give to different special interest groups or working groups for them to have their own Zoom accounts. And that enables them to do things like managing recording of their meetings and uploading through our automated systems and things like that via their specific account. And if you share an account, like our sub projects share an account with ours, there's a lot of shared like management of like the recordings and things like that. So working group serving now has a new Zoom account, but we ran out of licenses. So I still need to put in a service desk request with the CNCF for some new licenses. And until then, we've advised the other working group to piggyback on a SIG one. And then we'll get them set up with their own once we have the new licenses. Yeah. So I learned a lot about Zoom in the last couple of weeks.
Nice.
I don't think there's anything in particular on Slack. We do have some conversations going on about how we'll manage that in the future because it's not got a lot of active work going on with it right now. Comms team uses some Slack stuff occasionally when we need to send out messages on Slack, but it's occasionally enough that something's always broken when we do. So something to think about there. Any questions on moderation and media across Zoom, Slack, and YouTube? Alrighty. Next item is GitHub management. Does anyone have any GitHub management updates? Cool. Those folks aren't on, so not surprising. Which is also understandable. Moving on to the next item, elections. Elections will be taking place in the fall this year. The steering committee members whose term is up, I think is it 3 or 4 this year? It's either 3 or 4 will be up this year. And so there will be elections taking place in the community to replace those seats. You do have to be an org member to vote. So processes are getting underway to nominate the election officers. So that's done by the folks involved with the election sub-project. And then they'll let everyone know who the election officers will be, and those election officers will run the election when it comes time in fall. Any questions about elections? Cool. And that brings us to open mic and discussion. So, I guess I'll start with one thing for open mic. I know that there are a couple of new folks on the call today, so I want to do my usual shout out, I feel like, to the contributor comms team as a group that has some very approachable projects for new folks. So if you are new to the project and you're looking for something that you can get hands-on with, we have a SIG Spotlight blog series where folks interview the heads of special interest groups within Kubernetes. That's how we split up our work. And so you interview the leads of those special interest groups, well, a special interest group, and then you write up a blog post about what you learned about that special interest group, and we post it on the Kubernetes blog. Then you get something that's very visible that shows that you did some work for the community, you learned something about the community, and the special interest group gets a blog post written about them, which is really nice. So we have that project, which is very approachable for new folks. We meet on Fridays at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah. Always like to do a call out to that as a very approachable thing for new folks. Any questions about that or other open mic discussion items that folks want to bring up? Awesome. Sounds like we have accomplished our purpose then. We will go ahead and say goodbye to our folks on YouTube. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining today. Bye, YouTube.
Will you?